Hey everybody, welcome to Trending Thursday. As I took a sip of my Cafe Bustelo, glad to have you here. Glad to be here. Bill says, hi, Herb, me too, mug in hand. As you just saw, I was drinking out of my VectorVest mug today. If you can hear me, by all means, please respond in the affirmative with VectorVest, with VV Nation, and let me know that I am coming across loud and clear. I don't need to know where you're coming in, tuning in from, but I do want you to be, where am I at? What am I should be looking at? Okay, I'll leave it there. I do want to know that you can hear me. So Gemini is here, Martin is here. You know, I'm going to start off. I need to have a conversation with you guys for a couple of minutes before we get started. As we look at what's going on in the market, well, before we do that, if you're brand new to the channel, don't forget to hit the subscribe button, hit the bell icon so that you'll be alerted to when new live streams and videos come out. If you like the content, don't forget to hit the like button. I may do a giveaway today, depending on how many likes we get, and comment. I want to hear what you guys have to say. All right. So with all of that being said, as I look at what's going on in the market, a lot of red, the market's going down. For those of you, and I need an honest answer, and I want everybody to answer who is a subscriber to the VectorVest software. How many of you were prepared for what's going on right now? Type a 1 in the room if we prepared you well. Type a 2 if you don't think that we prepared you for what is going on in the market right now. This is for the purpose of the people who are not subscribers to the VectorVest software. Folks, I want you to look at the screen. All right, I want you to look at the screen, especially if you're thinking about subscribing. Now, there's, I'm not going to be able to appease everybody, but there's some 2s that are coming in. But if you look at the majority of the numbers that are coming in, they are 1s. Why? Because I don't think we could have done a better job. For everyone who's typing a 2, I don't think that we could have done a better job of preparing our subscribers for what's going on right now. And I'm going to spend some time to show you and walk you through, because again, no matter what I think, I'm the company guy. I want you to listen to the people that are in the room, because those are the people who are subscribing to the software. So we look at all of this red that's going on. There's a couple of things that we did. We pretty much got you out very close to the top of the market. All right. We pretty much got you out close to the top of the market. Now, let's do this. Let's get into the program, which I am, and I'm going to start off with the market timing graph. All right. It didn't move. All right. VV program. Let's do it this way. There we go. There we go. All right. And I'm going to put up another whole graph. I'm going to put up the market timing graph. And this is for the people in the room who said, too, that we did not prepare you for what was going on right now. As you see, when we look at the VectorVest composite, all right, how about John says, I am a VectorVest company guy and I have never, ever worked for VectorVest. Nope, Glenn has not brought me any Cafe Bustelo or bacon. Sigh. All right, I'm going to put you in timeout. So here's the high of the market right here, right? Remember, our VectorVest composite tracks the move of over 9,000 stocks, okay? I'm going to put on an indicator called the MTI, or it's our market timing indicator. And we were talking about this indicator while the market was moving up. And as we got to this level of the high, this indicator is cast on a scale between 0 and 2. When the MTI gets to a level of 1.6 or higher, the market is looking for a top. What's the value of the MTI on that high? 1.68. Let's go back a day. What was the level? 1.68. Let's go back a day. What was the level? 1.66. Let's go back a day. What was the level? 1.59. So these 3 days leading into the high of the market, we were talking to our subscribers about being careful because the market was looking for a top. Boom. The next day after that 1.68, the market started to fall. That's one thing. All right. Let's go put on our market timing and put on what we call the primary wave. 2 days later, the fastest indicator we had signaled a down call. All right. Signaled a down call. Edgar, and I like this answer. Edgar says, my 2 is because I wasn't paying attention. Edgar, I love that honest assessment. Said it was because I was not paying attention to the market. I'm sort of confused in buying on the market. I think it's a good idea to buy when it's low. And I agree with that. That's called bottom fishing. But we weren't low. We weren't low. The market was going up on not so good news, but it was still going up nonetheless. But this first 2 things, our market timing indicator was showing that the market was hitting a level of a high and probably looking to back off. Number 2, 2 things happened on 8/19 from a exponential moving average perspective. The 3 fell below the 8, and our fastest market timing signal gave us a down call. And where have we been ever since? So for everyone in this room that answered with the number 2, does this now show that we prepared you? Just type a yes or a no in the room. And folks, for any of you who were talking about, well, of course, this is after the fact. Folks, we were telling you this stuff as it was going on, and we emphasized what was going on. And so I'm just saying, for everyone who typed a 2 in the room, does that at least clear it up that we did prepare you? Type a yes or a no in the room right now. Now, there's a second part of this, why I'm having this conversation with you. You know, when we get to times when the market is going down, people start losing money in their portfolios, they start getting discouraged, and then they pull away from the market. The reason why the second part is so important is because we are here to try to help people. If you have a social circle, I always ask you, share this link with the people in your social circle, folks. Why? Because we can help them as well. All right, so we can help them as well. Robert Landy says, we were prepared for this downturn. Tyrese says, yes, I remember when the MTI was 1.6 and you said we were at a top. Magic Trade says, always prep their subscribers. VectorVest always preps their subscribers the best in the game. Folks, I ain't just whistling Dixie when I wanted to have this conversation, because a lot of people go through this. They don't pay attention, as I saw in the comment, and I appreciate that honesty. We're here to help you guys. And this is why I think that it's important that you share this content with people in your social circles, folks. All right, Elmer says, Glenny. So now that's my new name here. Glenny, I lost money on BBBY and you told us to be careful. Mike says, the next question is, do you think we hit a new low? Now, my link today, my alert said, do we double down on the downtrending market? And I think that a lot of people showed up today because they want to know the answer to that. So now let's use that same MTI, which can help us define when the markets are looking for a top, because it also can help us to know when the market is looking for a bottom. That same indicator, when it gets to a level of 0.60, the market is starting to look for a bottom. What's the level of it right now? At 0.71. So do I still have some downside? The answer to that question is I think we still have some downside, but I need you guys to be on the lookout for a rebound. Now, the lower we go below 0.60, the stronger the rebound is going to be. Right now, we're not there. We're close. We're close. Once we get to that level of 0.60, the market is looking for a major bottom. We're not there yet. So to answer the question about should we be doubling down on a down market, I'm not going to say double down. I will say take what the market gives you. If it gives you an opportunity to still make money on the downside, by all means take it. But be careful. Does everybody in the room understand that? Type a 1 if you understand that. Type a 2 if you think that I'm just babbling. All right, type a 1 if that makes sense to you. Type a 2 if you think I'm just babbling. Medina says, honestly, I'm a 2 and I saw the trend of the stock market was going to go down, but I was holding. Do you think that was a smart idea? Another thing that I say is when the market looks like it wants to turn around, and even more recently here, what did I say? Don't be afraid to take some off the top. Don't be afraid to lock in profits, take half off the position. And in case the market continued to go up, you were still in it. But if it continued to go down, you locked in profits on half the trade. You locked in profits on half the trade. So let me go down. There we go. The ones are coming in, folks. So I wanted, before we got into Trending Thursday like we normally do, I thought that today we needed to have a conversation because there's a lot of you out there that are discouraged. All right. And I just only wanted to show you that not after the fact, but during what was going on in the market, we were trying to get you guys prepared, man. And that is so important. Sue says, understood. MTI saved my bacon for some time now. I believe it went down to 0.20. Mike, that was a long time ago. Back in COVID, the buy to sell ratio, which we didn't even talk about. I don't even want to bring that into the conversation right now. I strictly want to look at just the MTI, and the MTI did a beautiful job of protecting our subscribers as this was going on. Glenn, do we pay a lot of taxes if you do everyday trade? The taxes come on short-term gains. If you take that money, then you get taxed on that. All right. But if you hold on, you don't get taxed on that money because you still hold the position. The short-term gains come in if you take the money that you've made. Now, the cool thing about that, a lot of people complain and they say, well, I got to pay taxes. You know, something that may not be a bad thing because it showed that you made money, right? It showed that you made money. And I think there's a lot of people who would want to be in that position to have to pay taxes because their portfolios did well. So what was the number in July? Let's go back to July. I'm not afraid. I don't run away from anything. What was the number back in July? Let's go look at this point. MTI, 0.95. Look at that. Even as the market was rising, we didn't get anywhere close to that 1.6 level. Look at that. And the market did what? It continued to rise. We weren't looking for a top. You know, there's July. We weren't looking for a top. And the market ran and ran and ran. Back here, when the market topped out again, what was the level? 0.90. We never got to the point of looking for a top, but the market pulled back. Guess what? Learn to read candlestick formations. We didn't get to a market top by way of the MTI. Candlestick formation, bearish harami with follow through, and the 3 and the 8 fell. That was back in June. All right. So are we close to oversold? We're getting there, but we're not there yet. Oh, Herbert says you pay tax on long-term capital gains, but less in the short term. I got you. All right, so that was a good question. So are we close to oversold? Struggle's real. We're getting close, but we're not there yet. And I like this. Mike says if the next CPI number is below estimates, there's no good news in the market. That's another thing to back this up. There's no good news in the market. When the market was running up here, there was no good news in the market. But the market ran, and the VectorVest software system kept you in all that time. Kept you in all of that time. All right. So that's the crux of the conversation that I wanted to have with you today, because I hate to see people get discouraged and then just pull out of the market. And this is why, again, I'm asking you guys to share this content. Between Patrick and I, we put out a lot of great content for you guys. We're only here to try to help you guys make money. That's all. Gosh, I cannot express that enough. It ain't about us, and it's not about popularity. It really is about the VectorVest system helping you guys make money in the market. But there's only so much we can do. We can bring you to the water. We can bring you to the water, can't make you drink. Elmer says, but what about if we lost money on everyday trades? Please help here. Then you know something? If you're not doing well day trading, you probably need to step back from that. Does that make sense, Elmer? If you're not, what's the good word? I guess good enough. I guess, and I don't want to say it that way, but if what you're doing from a day trade perspective is not working, then you probably need to step back, reassess what you're doing, and try to re-implement better ways to help you day trade. How many people in this room are part of our jockey club? How many people, type of one in the room, how many people in this room are part of our day trading room, the jockey club? Type of one in this room. All right. So Elmer, I'm doing that for a reason. I'm doing that for a reason because we do have a day trade room, and all of our portfolios in that day trade room are all in the green from a lot of different perspectives, whether it's a swing trade, whether it's a day trade, whether it's contra ETFs or any of that stuff. We do have a day trade room. And if you need help with that, I would say come out to our jockey club. Come out to our jockey club, see what we do, and see if you can implement it in what you are currently doing to change the way that you are day trading. That's all that I can do. But you can see not everybody from the jockey club is here. Not everyone from the jockey club is probably answering, but that's okay. All right. So I'm going to take all of that off the table. I needed to get that off of my chest because I need you guys to understand, and I'm going to only speak for myself. I personally have a vested interest in you guys making money. I can't talk for Patrick, but I think that he's on the same playing field as well. That's why we're here. We're not like a lot of other YouTubers out there that say, go buy this stock because blah, blah. That's this. Where is it? Oh man, that's that. And there's a lot of people that subscribe to that stuff, and sometimes you make money, but most times you don't. Sometimes you make money, but most times you don't. Listen, I'm not going to tell you that every trade I talk about here makes you money. A lot of these trades I tell you to keep your eyes on. A lot of these trades I tell you to keep your eyes on. I bring it to your attention. Now, with all of that being done, let's talk about what's going on in the market. I'm going to change this to some stories that I got going on, and let's go take a, oh, I need to do it from here. Let's go talk about what's going on. U.S. stocks fall on worries of economic slowdown. We already know that. The Fed, and I said this in the Jockey Club this morning, the Fed made it painfully clear that they were going to be hawkish, that they were going to go after inflation, and that it may cause the economy some harm, actually some pain, and the market's responding. I still applaud. I applaud the Fed for being awesomely honest. I really, really do. All right. Jobless claims. Jobless claims total 232,000, the lowest level in 2 months. Now, I got another follow-up story to this. Not as many people filing jobless claims, which means that they should be working. All right. But here's the other side of it. Small businesses are still desperate for workers, even as other companies slow hiring. Small businesses, restaurants, things of that nature, or maybe skilled workers or just general workers. And I don't think that everybody wants to take a general job, especially if you got a degree in something. I just think about that. But that's the two stories that I have in regards to jobs. And that's where we are. Herbert says the government has their hand out if you have long-term capital gain, but do not help you with your losses. And you know something? You can claim losses. You can claim losses as long as you use what's that thing? What's the rule? Dang it! What's the name of that rule? Somebody. Again, I hate getting old to a certain point. What's that rule that if you sell out, you can't buy for another 30 days? There you go. The wash rule. The wash rule. All right. Thank you, Michael. So you can write those off, but you can't buy back into the stock for 30 days. And then you can write it off as a loss. The employment number doesn't include those who've given up on trying to find work. Absolutely, Roger. I talked a little bit about that in the Jockey Club this morning. People are pulling out of the... Now, I got a question about that. If people are pulling out of the workforce and not looking for work, what are they doing to make money? Especially if inflation is still, it's still high. What are they... They're paying higher at the gas, even though it's lower than it has been. They're paying higher for goods and services. What are they, if they're pulling out of the workforce or looking, what are they doing for work, Roger? How are they sustaining themselves? I've got that question. How are they sustaining themselves? I'd like to know. Have a good day, David. Glad to see you here. David Silber wrote Silber Singles, one of a great bottom fish, one of the greatest bottom fishing searches behind jailbreak in the system. Roger says selling crack. Well, I hope that's not the case. Next story. Shorting the market. I don't think that if you ain't got money to pay your bills, you think you're gonna be shorting the market, Nicholas? I hear you, but is that gonna be part of what they do? I don't know. And thank you, Tyree. Tyree says hit the like button, folks. Today was a day that I needed to impart upon you some good vibes. All right, understanding what we did to help our subscribers. If you're not a subscriber to the VectorVest system, you can subscribe for 99 cents for 30 days. You can do that. One thing I don't like to do is I don't like to sell on our YouTube channel. But I hope that we can show you the benefits and the flexibility of the system for you at least to take a step out and take a 99-cent trial for 30 days. All right, to take a 99 cents. Should I sell my long-term stocks? Now, that's a great question. Now, the best way for me to answer that question is if you are really, truly long-term on those stocks, this is where options come into play. You can do bear call spreads. You can buy a protective put to protect it. You can sell covered calls to protect it. Especially if you know that these are stocks that you're holding for the long term, there are some defensive measures. Covered call is probably the easiest one to play that. Number two, if you're not adept in options, contra ETFs are a great way to absorb some of the loss from your long-term holdings as well. So Elmer, that's the two best things that I can answer for that from that perspective. All right. This is temporary. Nobody ever lost money by being patient. It is the lack of patience that costs people money. But you know, Tabula, patience is a virtue, and not everybody can exhibit that kind of patience, especially if you're watching your portfolio go down. So I totally understand. I hear you, Tabula, but I'm being real in that a lot of people want to try to exhibit that patience, but when you watch your portfolio go in the red and go deeper in the red and go deeper in the red, I don't know how many people are still going to try to be patient. All right. I'd like to join the Jockey Club. How? So, Forward Inc., give us a call. Give us a call. I will set you up with a trial for real time and the Derby. For real time and the Derby. And you know something? If I'm going to ask tomorrow, how many of you from YouTube joined the Jockey Club tomorrow? I'm going to put you guys on blast. All right. If anybody feels comfortable that they want to at least take a look at the Jockey Club in our day trading room, give our staff a call. Joey, put the number in there. It should be 888-658-7638. Joey's going to put the number in there for you guys and give them a call. There's a trial, I think, for 30 days for real time in the Derby for like $29. All right. And I'm going to shout you guys out. If anybody is going to be joining from YouTube tomorrow into the Jockey Club, I have the Jockey Club tomorrow. I'm going to shout you out. All right, so Forward, if you do subscribe and take the trial, Boston might be here in the background if she can jump in and actually talk to you. Dan says, I keep adding uranium and natural gas. Two great plays. Kenneth says, join the Jockey Club. No regrets here. All right. What is the number to call? And Mandip, Joey typed it in the chat for you. It's 888-658-7638. All right, what else is going on in the news? This is going to help. This is going to hurt our supply chain still. Chengdu locks down 21 million people in Chinese cities as Chinese cities battle COVID. China supports and supplies a lot of stuff. And again, this is another lockdown that's going to affect the supply chains. So that's going to be an icky thing. And now, did you guys hear the story about NVIDIA and that we banned or stopped the chip companies from shipping out to China? NVIDIA Corp said on Thursday, the U.S. government has allowed exports needed to complete the development of its flagship artificial intelligence chip a day after it disclosed that Washington had restricted shipments of 2 chips to China. Is that going to be a bump up for NVIDIA? Because of that, we'll take a look at it. So that's a stock that I'm looking at today. This is big. Dan, this is for you, Dan. This is for you, Dan. Nuclear power is having a resurgence. If you look in our system, the number one industry in the VectorVest system right now is mining uranium. All right, so nuclear power is having a resurgence. Along with that, governments are rethinking nuclear power. We all are talking about clean energy. Nuclear power is a big force of clean energy. All right. And not too long ago, well, it was a while ago, I did a uranium story on our YouTube channel talking about a lot of countries around the globe are building nuclear reactors and nuclear power plants. I think that it is something that more and more countries need to think about. Now, it takes a lot of years to build this, though, right? In the face of rising energy prices, Germany, California, and Japan are reconsidering early nuclear power plant. Reconsidering. Because a lot of people are like, they're reconsidering that. All right, so what did Mike say? You said, I see that. Mike says markets are turning around. We'll take a look at that. We'll take a look at that in a second. And the last story is about natural gas, Nord Stream. Russia shuts major gas pipeline to Europe. I did a story yesterday on AMA that talked about Norway pushing faster or pushing higher than Russia as an exporter of natural gas to the UK. Norway's trying to get to be part of NATO. This could be a good starting point for them to show that they want to help the UK. And someone said yesterday that Norway could not fill the void that Russia had. And my question about that is, if they are becoming a bigger exporter of natural gas than Russia, how is that the case? All right. Mark says, hey, VectorVest, I'm told I've not been living up to my comment quota lately. I've been on the road listening and while driving. Thank you for supporting us, Mark, no matter how it is. I love that you support us. All right. Let's talk about the market turning around. Let's get back into the software. Put this back onto here. Did that work? Oh, it won't put me in the web. It won't put me back. It says VV program won't put me back in it. Sigh. All right. Let's go look at the market now. Intraday, 5-minute bars. Are we rebounding? All right. I had a level of resistance on the VectorVest composite, looking at the level of about 54.48. We are moving higher. All right, we are moving higher. Graph layouts. Oh, I don't have my MTI layout. I'll just look at the 3 and the 8. Looks like we could be rebounding. If you want to see if the market's really rebounding, let's go see if it can close the gap that was created at 54.95. Let's go see if that can happen. And you know something, what goes down can't go down forever. But if you're in short term, if you're in playing the market to the downside, this is what I'm really looking for before I start to, for lack of a better word, panic. All right, there's today's gap. All right, big gap down. Here's today's gap. I see the rebound going on. Let's do this. Let's go put on a freehand line coming off of this low. And let's go make this a little darker for you. Let's keep our eyes on it. We can keep our eyes on it. There's a little bit of rebound. Here's a trend line. The 3 and the 8 just popped. We'll keep our eyes on it. Uranium stocks are on a roll, far outperforming the broader market in a scorching summer for the industry, and those gains look to set as they continue global energy crisis attention to uraniums. And again, it is, keeping right on point with that, Dan, it is the number one industry in the VectorVest software right now. All right, let's go look at my portfolios on my lists here. Markets, here's the rebound. The Dow is finally now in the positive, not by a lot, but in the positive. We are coming off of session lows. So you're right, the market is rebounding, but we're still overall in a down. Not only that, if I go back to the home page, what has changed on the home page? Nothing, still a primary wave down. All of the major indices with the exception of the Dow are in down, 3 red lights, more decliners than advancers. Nothing is telling me anything has really changed. It just looks like a move in the market right now, but I'm not telling you guys to panic. All right, let's talk about the big news stocks, the stocks that came out today that I'm looking at in the news. There's Boyle. That's my bullish play on natural gas. NVIDIA. Let's take a look at NVIDIA. Even though we gave them the okay to still do what they do. Let's go put this on a 3-month graph. I'm not a big fan of the NVIDIA. Not yet. Not yet. The stock has gone down. I got a big wick at the bottom of today's candle, shows some buying pressure. But man, I got a level of resistance right now on NVIDIA at 154.48. I need to see the stock's price break above that before I'm ready. Number one. Number two, I'd like to see the 3 cross above the 8. Number three, I'd like to see the stock go back to at least a hold recommendation. All right, so there's a lot of things going on. The news is there, but I'm not bullish on NVIDIA at this point, not yet. All right, let's go look at all of the stocks in the list that have made the news. All right, and let's go look at all of them on a graph. Be ready for red. Mine just jumped at 228. China chip deal lost $400 million. Man, that's yuck. So stocks. I got both. I'm playing both from the standpoint of the semiconductors. Here's the bullish ETF running up now. The bearish ETF is in here as well. And I would, by way of the ETF, I would play whichever side. This is for the long side. This is the bullish side of the chips. Boyle, a little bit of an intraday move today. It gapped up, but sitting a lot in a channel. I personally do own Boyle. I still think oil is a good place to be. And as much as I still like oil, man, is just a tough play. It's just a tough play. Be careful on your oil plays. NVIDIA, we just looked at a little bit of a U-shaped bottom there. Uranium gapped down today. Big news, big pullback, but I'm looking to see if it can also break above its level of the gap down. Put this on a 3-month graph though. A down day today. The 3 and the 8 are still in play. Had a level, I don't know if that's a real level of resistance. Let's do this. Add parameter, technical analysis, support resistance. Where did it go? Oh, did it go up there? No, not yet. Support resistance. There's my levels of support and resistance. And between yesterday and today, we've got 2 levels of support. We're right now at a level of support on uranium URA of 22.19. But look at the big wick at the bottom. A lot of buying pressure coming in right now on the stock. So just, I still like it. I still like the play. We're not that far off from the 3-month highs. I would still keep on with the uranium plays. SOX S, this is on the short side. So it was moving up a little bit. Look at all that selling pressure. Look at the big wick at the top. A lot of selling pressure, and that's why SOXL is moving up. Should we be buying contras now? Now, Roy, that's a great question. With the market looking the way that it is right now, especially knowing that we could be getting close to a market looking for a bottom, if you take contras, you only take them on the days when the market's moving down. All right, which I could have played them this morning. And I did. In the Jockey Club, I did play them this morning. But I got tight stops on them. I got a 28.7 stop, 28% gain, 7% loss. If the market is getting close to looking for a bottom, the only times that I'm looking to buy into contras is on a down day. All right, and today would have been that day. Right now, I just would have been managing my stops. Does that make sense, Roy? Does that make sense, Roy? All right, so would I tell you to do it now? Not right now as the market's starting to look like it wants to rebound. No. If I'm in them, like I am in the Jockey Club, if I'm in them, I've got tight stops in place. Nuclear still has to beat NIMBY. What is that? Especially in the states that need it most. Energy says, what's the phone number for? The phone number is for those people who are here in YouTube land, want to take advantage of the Jockey Club. If they want to take advantage of our day trading room, that's what the number was for. Does the volatility in Boyle scare you? Absolutely. It does. Absolutely. Boyle can go up 20% in a day and go down 30% the next day. So absolutely. I'm not going to lie about that. It does scare the bejesus out of me, but I just look at the situation as it is and I put tight stops on them. All right. So those are all of my stocks that are making the news at this particular point in time. Now here's another one. Hottest industry search, right? I'm going to show you something that goes along with what's going on in the market, right? I'm going to show you something that goes along with what's going on in the market. Let's go to the unit search. We're going to go to the Delta Searches Industries. We're using relative timing, all right? We're using relative timing. And let's go see, look at this. 10 days ago, RT Delta was 15. It went up not nearly as much over the last 10 days. All right, let's go to the next one. 29% was the RT Delta, the change in relative timing. Look at that over the last 10 days. Folks, this is telling me more that even from the position of trying to find what strong industries are on the rise by relative timing, they ain't there. Does this prove useful to you in what's going on in the market? Type of 1, if yes. Type of 2, if no. Does this prove useful to you in regards to what's going on in the market? Type of 1, if yes. Type of 2, if no. This tells me that even from an industrial perspective, ain't much going on but the rent. You got to have a JOB if you want to be with me. All right, so let's take this a step further. Let's go to the Viewers tab. Let's go to the Industry Viewer. Now, we can look at the high flyers, the industries that are the best right now, which is healthcare. Look at that. Mining uranium from yesterday to today went from 1 to 6. But healthcare, that's a recession-proof industry. Food, that's a recession-proof industry. Mining uranium ain't a recession-proof industry. Utilities, that's a recession-proof industry. I wonder where I heard those recession-proof industries from. Oh yeah, I did a video on recession-proof stocks and ETFs. How many of you watched that? All right, that's this type of yes or a no if you watch that. But you notice 3 things that are at the top of the industry list are 3 industries that are recession-proof industries: healthcare, food, utility. Interesting, huh? So it's interesting how that video that we put out to prepare you is coming to fruition in the system. Folks, again, we don't pull rabbits out of hats. It's not about smoke and mirrors. We try to keep you in track in as real time as we possibly can. Wow, the video is lagging. Chat box 10 by 15 seconds here. Sorry about that, Roger. All right, sorry about that. All right, so the high-flying industries, be careful with those if the market is going down. Remember, the market's direction affects about 80% of the stocks in the market. All right. Let's go back to my viewers, watch list viewer. So not much going on in the hottest industries. Short-term plays, let's go take a look at those. And I'm going to add to this. From a short-term plays, I need everybody to write this down, if nothing else. Write this down, if nothing else. 2 things that you guys got to do now. All right, look at stocks to short, but be careful, especially if we're getting close to a bottom. Look for contra ETFs, but again, be careful if the market is getting close to a bottom. But those are 2 things to at least keep in mind. And on the days that the market does give you a downside, those are things to look at. All right, so why am I looking at these? Short-term plays, these are stocks that are up news-wise, up at least 10% to today. Let's go graph them all. Let's see if any of them are worth it. That looks like a buyout. FMTX looks like a total buyout. NTNX must have been news that drove it up, but since then, it made its money early this morning, has been pulling back. I wouldn't take it now. GCT didn't get bumped up at the open, but I do like the bounce coming off this level of support. I'd be looking at about 12 cents higher than the high to still get in today if it gives you an opportunity. Pixie made its money early this morning, but since then pulled back. And last but not least, Ribbit. Oh, that's a frog stock. Ribbit made its money this morning in pulling back. But I wanted to take a look at the stocks that were up today by at least 10%. Swing trade plays. Now, this is a tough one. All right. Talking about stocks to hold long term, a couple of days to a couple of weeks. That's about as long a term as I'm going to look at on a swing trade. Interesting. I'm going to graph all of these. And a lot of this comes off, put this on a 3-month graph. A lot of these come because of the equity curves that you look at. First Solar. Well, they're putting a big investment in the U.S. market for manufacturing of solar panels. Bottom left, top right. If you're not in it, I like the graph. I like the graph. Even with what's going on in the market, I like the graph. I'd like to see it go above that 3-month high, though. Next one. Wow, even on a down day, how about PLMR hitting a new 3-month high today? 3 and 8 looks solid. Very little wick at the top. Good volume across the board. Look at that. From a long-term play, remember, if 80% of the stocks go down with the market, that means 20% of the stocks are going up. Now, how about gold and silver? I'm not shorting them. There you go. I would short them. I have not been a fan of gold and silver to play long. Shorting them may not be a bad way to go. Lou says, for recession-proof industries, just walk outside your home and ask the first old person you see. He or she will tell you what is in the buying list and bills to pay. I hear you. But again, 3 of those industries that are the top industries are part of my listing that I made in that video that are recession-proof stocks. All right. Low volume on what? On gold, Stephanie? Might be. Any idea, Glenn, how high is the rebound at the top of the S&P 500? Police SWAT, I'm not a fan of trying to guess. I'm not. I just think that the lower below 0.6 the MTI goes, the more robust the rebound will be. Now, keep in mind, I don't think that the rebound is going to be for an entirely long time unless you take into effect midterm elections. All right. So the news is there's no news to substantiate an elongated upturn in the market. Does that make sense, Police SWAT? Does that make sense? When the refiners begin to switch from summer blend to winter blend, cause temporary price drop? No, I don't think so, David. I think that oil is going to be oil, and you're going to need it. All right, and the supply, we dipped into our reserves. That's going to suck if we get a really, 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 really bad winter. That's going to hurt us. All right, that's going to hurt us. Crypto look like Mukesh. I am not a fan of cryptos. Too much stuff going on with cryptos. That there's some bad players out there, that there's some scams out there, and all that kind of stuff. I've not been a fan of crypto for a minute, and crypto is still falling. I can try to help you time crypto. I'm not going to do it today, but we can time it. Just like we time the market, we can see some evidences when it's time to get into crypto. Crypto ain't the time to be in it right now. We really need some good news. Without it, any gains are just wishful thinking at work. So right now, what news? The news is going to be bad. The Fed said it. The news is going to be bad. Can we get a rebound? Yes. I don't think it's going to be elongated because the news is still bad. All right. I do like this as a swing trade play. Keep this on your list, PLMR, but only buy it on an up day. GERN, biomedical, looking like not too far from the 3-month high. Still like the bottom left, top right scenario. What else? Wow. Another drug, biomedical, bottom left, top right. A down day today. I looked at it, and that's a little bit of a high bearish harami. I'd look to see if that's got follow through, but I like the equity curve. Wow. CAH. Drug wholesale distribution hitting a new 3-month high. So even though the market is going down, I do like some of the swing trades that are here that I presented for you. Oil and gas are here to stay for a decade despite demand for green energy. I'm with you on that. I think that I'm a fan of green energy. A couple of things there, though. I still think it's a long way off before we're dependent, independent of oil. Number one. And number two, I think that the market should have drove that industry higher, not the government. All right, let's look at some speculative plays. My speculative plays are always going to be fundamentally not good stocks where relative value and relative safety are going to be below 1, but the stocks are in an uptrend, normally because of news. Let's go take a look at these, graph them all. These are short-term. We're going to put them on a 1-month graph now. These are short-term plays. Bottom left, top right, new high today, broke through a level of resistance on good volume. From a short-term play, that may not be a bad play. I'd look at 5 cents higher than the high. CBIO, nice bottom left, top right pullback. I like the 3A cross. I'd like to see it take out that level of the high, or if I want to get in now, I'd go 5 cents higher than this candle's high. Next one, AGMH. Bottom left, top right, leveling out right at a level of resistance. I'd like to see it take out the 3-month high, 5 cents higher, and the volume is slowing down. That makes sense as the stock is moving sideways. My next one, RVLP, hitting that level of a 3-month high. Love the bottom left, top right. 3 and 8 have been solid all over this whole month. Solid all over this whole month. Gold Cross says, gotta go. Have a good day, Gold Cross. Thank you for being here. Mash says, Wingstop has a new chicken sandwich. You know who's got the market cornered on chicken sandwiches? Anybody? Anybody knows who that is? Close that. Anybody knows who that is? It is Chick-fil-A, baby. It's Chick-fil-A. So I do like this as a short-term play. There you go, Ron. Absolutely. This one, though, I'd be careful with this. I don't know why I put this in the list. I don't like it. I don't like APL. I don't know how I got it in the list, but I did. I'm not feeling it. I disregard that one. All right. Day trades. Let's go see if there's any day trades that are still out there. These are trades that I was looking at earlier. Oh, guess what? These are short plays. That made sense for today. Type of 1 if you agree with that. For looking at day trade plays today, looking at short plays was a good idea. Type of 1 in the room, type of 2 if you don't care. I think that, again, my job is to bring you the timely information. To Popeye's chicken, I ain't never had it yet. I never had that yet. Would you short oil actually? I wouldn't short it. I would take drip. That's a tough play for me to. I think I would just wait on oil. I think long-term oil is still going to be good. It's just tough. But you know something? You can still make money on it to the downside. Just be careful with it. Would the SPY short? Absolutely. But again, do it now if I know that the market is getting close to a level of looking for a bottom. Be careful. All right, if you weren't, and let me go back to the graphs. If you weren't part of the group of people, hold on. If you weren't part of the group of people, put this on a 3-month graph. If you weren't part of the group of people that we had prepared back here, it's tough to do it now. Does that make sense? Type a yes or no. Does that make sense that it's tougher right now to start in on the downside now if we're looking closer for the market to look for a bottom? Type a yes or a no. All right, because I've got a couple of questions that are asking me about, should I short the put? Should I put a put on the SPY and all that kind of. Be careful. This was the time, and this was the time we had you prepared. Right now, if we're getting close to looking for a market bottom, folks, be careful with the shorts that you have. Don't be afraid to take some of those off the table, especially if you're in contras or anything else. The only way I would still buy anything to the downside, and I think that this is the answer to the alert that I set up. I don't think I'm ready to double down on the downside right now. I don't think that I'm ready to double. A lot of the down has happened. A lot of the money's been made right here. A lot of the money's been made right here. If you missed that, then if nothing else, folks, pay attention to the guidance that we give on our live streams. Pay attention to the guidance that we give in the software. If nothing else, folks, if nothing else, this should hopefully open your eyes to the fact that we at least a little bit know what we're talking about when we try to help you. All right, so that's what I like about that. Mark says, cover me with your witty retorts while I head over to the swing trading groups. You're welcome. Hey, have a good day, Mark. Have a good day. Shorts are way too late now, 427 Trading says. I have to agree, but I'm not going to tell you that don't do it. Buy, sell will show the bottom. You know what's going to show the bottom? When this MTI gets to that level of about 0.60. That's what I'm looking for. That's going to be a good indication that the market is starting to look for a bottom. All right, let me get back to the viewers. There's my day trade plays. Let's look at those real quick. Do I like any of these? Nope. Root made its money this morning. XPEV made its money no, I got none of these day trade picks. Law is starting to move. All right, after it gapped down, I'd like to see you take out the gap, but Law is starting to move as a day trade play. And PGY is starting to move as a day trade play. I don't like the non-traded bars, though. All right, the last thing I need to do is my picks. Did I have any picks today? Nope, I got no picks today. And that's by design. I'm going to let the market come to me. I don't want to put you guys on any wrong side of anything right now. The market's moving down, going back to the market timing graph. Let's go back to intraday. There's that little bounce. But this is what I was looking for. Is he anywhere close to taking out that level of the gap down? No. What are we doing now? We're still going down. So is the spiders. So is the spiders. All right, Joey, put me on my ending screen. That's it for the day, folks. That's it for the day, folks. I thank you for letting me, for the first couple of minutes, have an opportunity to seriously talk to you about what's going on in the market. For those people who are not subscribers to the system, we do offer a trial. And what we do here in the live streams, we also give something called the Daily Color Guard Report every single night. It's a video done by someone in the education department. We tell you what went on for the day and we prepare you for the next day. We do that every single day. For those people who were able to honestly say that the VectorVest system prepared you for this, thank you. For those of you who said no, that it wasn't enough, hopefully I've explained it to the point that we are there for you. And I will reiterate the statement again that I have a vested interest. When I do a live stream, I personally have a vested interest in your ability to make money. So that's why I put the stories together, I put the stocks together, I put the ideas together to help you guys make money. But I think that we were spot on preparing our customers for what's going on in the market now. And that's it. Somebody gave me a new ending, Von Blitz or something like that. Dag nabbit. I got to remember it. I don't know if they're here to tell me, but I wanted to add that to my closing out today. Hey, for all of you who feel that the VectorVest service is a benefit to your investing, before we go, one last time, type a 1 in the room. For those of you who feel that the VectorVest system is a definite means to helping your investing, type a 1 in the room. And if you're still not sure, type a 2 in the room, folks. I want to go out on a good note. And for those people, again, who are not subscribers to the software, look at the chat. Look at the chat. All right. I can tell you until I'm blue in the face. That would be tough for me. If you look at me, it would be tough for me how good the program is. But everybody who's out there who is not a subscriber to the chat, onto the software, look at the chat. With that, adios, arrivederci, ciao, au revoir, sayonara, aloha to all my peeps in Hawaii. Bom dia, salam, shalom, namaste, yasu. Until the next time, folks, see ya.